everybody, in this video I'm going to just show you how to weld a shape. We'll add a shape to the screen and weld it. So we're going to pattern, and I'm on the Scan and Cut DX Disney model, so you can see it's got some Disney designs and some other patterns and borders and writing words, but this icon here is the pattern for the icon for shapes. Click on shapes, and these shapes are very much similar to, could be identical to what's available to you in Canvas Workspace. So if you're used to using Canvas Workspace, these particular shapes are exactly the same. As you scroll through them, you can see all the shapes you can choose. If you want to go to the top, this one will take you right to the top, and this one here will take you, and you can see that arrow's grayed up, so there's no higher to go. And this one will take you to the bottom. You can see this arrow is grayed out and there's nowhere else to go. So I'm going to look for a triangular shape. This one will do. And you've got the option to resize it in this screen. So at the moment it's coming in 100mm by 100mm. This icon here on the right will keep it in perspective or scale. So if you increase the height, the width will increase as well in perspective. So it keeps those figures, whatever those numbers are, it will keep them in sync. So the shape stays in exactly the same proportion that you entered it. So I'll just increase it by 1. You can see that's gone from 101 high to 101 wide. I'll increase the width, 102 wide to 102 height. But if I put this on, you can see it's highlighted in blue now, and I'm just going to increase the width. So the width is now 103 wide, but only 102 high. 104, 102. So you can change the shape size by adjusting this if you want it to stay equally changed, so it's the same perspective as what you imported it. You have this so it's white, and then it will go, each time you hit that it will change it in perspective. Or if you want to do one side longer than the other, might be making a card and you need a greater rectangle or something, then you'd highlight that blue. Once you're happy with the shape, you can choose set, and that will put it on your mat. Or in the screen also it gives you an option to increase the number. So just say I wanted 3 of these. So it's going to make 3 of those shapes, 101 by 107. You also can use the tool icon in here. So if you wanted to change your measurements and you didn't want millimeters, you wanted inches, it would do that. So you just click on that and there's your inches. Changes your cut area. So you're designing something and you want it to be on a 24-inch mat. You can change it in here. You can change the focus area by moving these arrows. It's only going to look at that area of the mat. Put them back. Go back to 12. If you make changes and you don't want to keep them, that cross up there is what you would choose, and you would just cross out of it. Or if you've made some changes and you want to keep them, you go OK. So we'll just go with the cross at this stage. And pattern interval, you can see this has got a square black box around it, so that's the default. This one's grayed out, so that's the lowest pattern interval you can choose. You can increase the pattern interval. You can see that that's 3, has no black box. You take it back to 1. We're just going to go with 1 for this particular choice. And so we're happy with that. We're happy with the width being a little bit wider than height. We're happy with 3 of them, and we go set. And there they are. So there's 3 of them on this mat. So if we want to weld these, we would just move them to where we wanted them to weld. To weld, you need to overlap some areas of a shape. And I'll just maybe push that around a little bit so it's a little bit out of whack. And we can edit in here as well. So if we want to edit just this object, we've got the red highlight around that object. And we go, if we went into the edit object, it will only edit that object. Go back. If we want to edit all of them, go into these 3 red squares. And once again, you have the option to just manage them like that and change your focus area. So just say I wanted just that one, change that. And it would just look at that. Let's go back because I don't want that. And this one here will allow you to choose all 3. So we've highlighted all 3. So we've got a red highlighted box around all 3 of those shapes. And that's what we want. If we want to look at them a bit closer, we can use the zoom function. You zoom right in. Down here's got the 200 at the moment, and you can go up to 400, back to 200. And you can move these around your mat. So this grid area equals your scan and cut mat. You can see the grid shape. It emulates exactly that. And once you load your mat into your scan and cut machine, these shapes will sit on the mat there. So if you wanted them to the right a bit more, you could arrow them across. These are grayed out because we're right at the top and right at the right hand side. Go to the left, go all the way to the left. Can't go any further, so it's grayed out. And you can go down. We won't go all the way down. But you can see I've got them in a position that I can still move 3 ways. Just push it back up a little bit, push it back over a little bit, and we'll go OK. And we'll go OK because we've got all 3 selected. Now if we go into Object Edit, we have a couple of options. We can flip them. You can see they're flipped. So they were pointing, I'll just flip it again. So they're pointing to the left. Now they're pointing to the right. You can group them. Once you group them, you kind of locked in there a little bit. We don't want to group them in this particular exercise. What I want to do is align them. And this one here at the bottom right is the alignment option. And I remember earlier I put this one a little bit out of whack. So I've got them all selected and I want to align them to the middle. So you've got to the left, to the right, to the top, to the bottom, to the centre. So that's that way. And I'll just do that for a second so you see what will happen. It sort of makes a bit of a mess for this one. So they're all on top of each other, but I don't want that. So we go back. That's your little back button for that. We want them to align in the middle. And there they are in a perfect alignment. And I can see, I don't know if that one's quite going to weld, but we might give it a shot anyway, just to see if it will. This icon here is the weld icon. So if I want all those to be in one shape, I want to create a new shape, and that's going to be lots of triangles. Maybe I'm making a sideways Christmas tree. This is the icon you would use. And I must have just have a look. I don't think I did really. Oh, by the tiniest little margin, you can just see it's just welded enough. So it says, okay to weld pattern outline, irreversible. So once it's welded, that's it. We can still cancel out of this. This is cancel and this is okay. And at this stage I'm going to cancel because I didn't quite want to, I wanted it overlapping a little bit more, so we'll cancel. And we will go okay, and back to here, back into this one. Take them off for a moment. We'll just get this one over a little bit. So now we might select them all. And we'll go through that exercise again. So object edit, and we will align them in the middle. And that was a little bit out of alignment. You can see it's moved. You can also see the center of the square while we're looking here. See that cross? That's the center of the outside highlighted area, and technically could be the center of your design. Go okay, and weld. And see, I've got a much better join there than I had previously. It's fairly even join. I'll go okay, and that's done. So that's to say I wanted it to be a Christmas tree. It's not a very great Christmas tree, but we'll just flip it that way. So we're rotating it this way. These will rotate left, right, 10%, 1%, and you can back out of it as well. So we'll go okay, we're quite happy with that. What if I want to put a base on my Christmas tree? We'll go okay. Let's move it up a little bit. Let's add. So go add another pattern. Go back into your shapes. So what sort of base should we have on our Christmas tree? We need a flat base, like a little tub. Maybe we have something like that. That'll do. And we'll go okay. Not enough space on the mat for that one. So I'll just go back to that. So not enough space on the mat. Check pattern size, space on the mat, cut area size, pattern interval. So they're all suggesting all things you could change to fit that shape if you needed that shape in that size. But we don't. We must have chosen something a bit big. So all we need to do is to shrink it down and maybe a little bit more. Just bearing in mind that our tree was quite big, but that should fit somewhere. Let's go okay and see. There we go. And we'll edit this shape and object edit, and we will rotate it so it's that way and go okay. Bring it down here. There's our little stand for it. Might put that little stand like that. And I think I might like it a little narrower. So this is your resize. And remember, this keeps it in perspective. Or if you click on that, it will work individually. Well, I quite like it that height. I think I just want it narrower. We'll just narrow it down. That's not too bad. We'll go okay. And I might just move that up a little bit so it's, and we'll select them all. Go okay. And I might weld that. So just check the alignment first. This time I want center align. So it moves it right into the center and weld. See, it's going to have a little base on it. You can go in and have a double check. Scroll down to see what our base looks like in a larger format. That's okay for our Christmas tree for this. Go okay. And it's welded. So you can see the red highlight is all the way around the entire object. That's one object now, not multiple. Okay, so you could go and cut that out if you wanted to. So we'll go OK, and OK, and OK. And then it will ask you, please select. So we're going to say we're going to cut it. So you could draw it if you wanted to, but we're going to go cut. And it tells me it's going to take 1 minute to cut. The pressure is at -3. Speed is 5, and the half cut is off. Half cut is if you're doing vinyl. So if you're going to cut this in vinyl, you would need to go in to the wrench and put half cut back on, just there. So you've got a few adjustments in here. We'll save that for another video. And if you wanted to add a test cut, which I always used to do on my CM, not so important here, but we can add a test cut. So let's just add a little triangle. I normally move it out the way a little bit, depending on where your cardstock is. But the blade sits over here, so I normally take it away from the blade area. And go back if you don't want that. And start. Oh, and I haven't got my mat loaded. So we'll load the mat. And you can see the start is ready to go. But I haven't put any cardstock on there, so I'm not going to press start this time. I hope you've enjoyed this video.